Welcome to Proust My Startup, the podcast that offers you a glimpse at the personalities of the people that make the local startup ecosystem in Malaysia. I'm Vanessa Muledus, aka Brand Shifu with an H on Instagram, the founder of North Branding Consulting Boutique Agency. I'm a brand strategist, 24/7 immersed by the sides of entrepreneurs, startups, and SME founders. As a brand consultant, a mentor, but also an entrepreneur program facilitator, an investment jury, and a business angel. In Proust My Startup, I want to really discover who are the people that make our local startup ecosystem. Because I'm a brand strategist, I want to understand how their personal brand might influence or shape the corporate brand of their organization. Today's episode is recorded from CloudMile's Center of Excellence in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Startups thrive on innovation, and CloudMile is here to fuel that journey. As a leading AI and cloud technology company in Asia, they help businesses drive digital transformation and growth, leveraging machine learning, big data, and cloud solutions. With a team made up of certified technical experts and a strong network of technology partners, including being one of just 40 Google Cloud Managed Services providers globally, CloudMile has supported more than 1,200 companies through consulting, technical, and managed services. I've seen it firsthand with my own mentees, tech startup founders. The Center of Excellence in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, now offers startups a collaborative space to explore generative AI, data management, security, and more, and advance their digital competitiveness with cloud and AI adoption. So if, like them, you want to experience it yourself, visit today my.cloud. And now, back to our episode. Today, my guest is Ghaz Iqbal, the head of business development startups at AWS. But today, he's not on my mic as Mr. Startup AWS, but rather as himself, an author, an entrepreneur, and a mentor to startups. So buckle up and let's take a deep dive. Hi, Ghaz. Welcome to Proust My Startup. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, excited. First time on your podcast. I hope not be the last.
I hope too, especially because you have much more opportunities of speaking usually, and not in a small podcast. So thank you for your time here. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So Ghaz, I think for the audience, we all have heard about his name in a way or in another. So Ghaz is usually the Mr. Startup, if I may say so, of AWS, because he's the one to mingle with us, is the one to be in the ecosystem, really present and develop the presence of AWS in the ecosystem. But today we are receiving Ghaz as Ghaz himself, because what we might not know is that Ghaz is actually a full stack entrepreneur, long journey here that he has actually wrote about in a book called
Bites Beyond Borders.
Bites Beyond Borders. I had it in a different order. And also he's a mentor, so some of you might know him as their mentors. So I wanted to have him over as Ghaz himself. Also, we all are aware that corporations have limited rights to communicate on behalf of the corporations. So Ghaz today is Ghaz himself representing all that he's doing. And I'm really glad that we can know him a bit better in a more personal way because his journey is quite fantastic. And I believe that what we will learn through this interview will somehow resonate with the journey that you had, especially for those who have read his book. So first question is, have you ever heard of the Proust Questionnaire?
I haven't heard about it, but I did a bit of recce around your YouTube channel.
Yes, of course.
Just to get an idea. I think it's about a philosopher from France.
Correct.
Back in 17th century. 19th century, if I'm not wrong. But I didn't do more than that because I wanted to keep myself a bit surprised as well. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's perfect, as we say in French. Because indeed, so Marcel Proust, French philosopher and writer, big one at his time and even more after, to the point that we learned him at school. And actually, I didn't like him at school, to be honest with you. So it's ironical here. I had a hard time with his writings. And back then, so late 19th, early 20th, he popularized a game around some very personality questions in the intellectual aristocratic circles back then. I think this was just like the way of living, and it was an indoor game. And so this game is believed to reveal the true nature of people thanks to those questions. So initially, I thought the 35 questions we would go through were his questions, dating back to 150 years almost. What I learned recently is that there's a lot of mysteries actually around this questionnaire. And what I learned is some questions are back from his time, from himself, but some questions have been popularized by Vogue, the magazine.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's very personal, and still we have Proust inside that. So we will go through these questions, and we will see whether or not it reveals your nature.
Oh, nice.
Right?
It's like a personality test.
Yes, but even better than that, because the questions sometimes, due to the fact that they are dating back from so far away, they feel like a bit different from what you would have today in a usual personality test. So I feel there's an extra layer to it. You will tell me.
Okay.
All right. Ready for it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's go. So the first question is, what is your idea, of perfect happiness?
We are switching to high gears already.
Yeah.
Happiness. So I think over the years of my experience, you have given a brief introduction. Thank you very much for that and inviting me over here. For me, it has kind of like changed. Initially, in my younger days, it was more along the lines of, earning more money, maybe, reaching in the corporate sector on a higher level, stepping up my game, getting recognition, achieving in my academics on a higher level. All of these things will give me more happiness, but somehow it changed. So for now, I mean, I think I'm more mature. I mean, there's always scope for learning and having more experiences. But for me at the moment, if you ask me, happiness is all about giving back to the community. And when I say giving back to the community, where you have nothing in return that you are getting out of it. Ideally, for people that you don't even recognize, don't even know, but in some way, some order, some fashion, you can help them, support them in whatever way. That is true happiness to me. And I'm sort of a spiritual person as well. So I believe in karma. If you do good, good will happen to you. And whenever I do something where I have nothing in return coming from the other side, it makes me very calm. It makes me very happy. And it also opens up a lot of opportunities or doors for me that come out of nowhere. So for me, at the core, it's all about giving back, supporting how you can, from all of your learning, your experience, give back to the planet, give back to the humanity, give back to the next generation, all about giving back. And that brings joy, that brings happiness, that brings calmness.
Very nice. Indeed. Maturity kicks in here.
Yeah.
All right. Second question is, what is your greatest fear?
What is my greatest fear?
We're continuing the deep questions here.
All the way from happiness to the fear.
Yeah, direct. Good plunge.
So, well, I mean, there are multiple fears, right? One of them is that I do a lot of panels, keynote speeches. I speak on very large scale events where there are like 500 plus, 1,000 plus people sometimes, and my fear is dying on the stage. I'm talking to the people and suddenly, I don't know, heart attack or something happens and I just drop dead over there.
Wow, okay.
So that's my fear. It's not about public speaking, it's about dying in front of the public while, officially doing something. That has always been the case because I'm always out there engaging, networking, talking, interacting with people of all sorts. And sometimes, I mean, your health takes a toll as well. So my fear is that, okay, I'm communicating in a very, very large setting where there are thousands of people, they are listening to me. I'm just aiming in, we have a connection in place, me and the audience, and suddenly I drop dead. So I think that's my biggest fear at the moment.
Understand. There is a French writer as well, a theater writer, Molière, that almost died on stage. Indeed, very famous for it. He's a key writer in the at the court of the Sun King. And he was super sick at the end, but he loved what he was doing so much that on stage he was really at some point at the peak of his unhealthy life or whatever was happening, and he was almost on the brink to die, and I think he died just shortly after. So I understand what you're
Wow.
saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some would say there is a French song
Mhm.
saying "I would love to die on stage," but I'm not sure it's indeed.
Yeah, so the fear is not completing what you were intended to do, so
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You dying before
yeah.
that.
You
So yeah,
haven't delivered what you wanted.
yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
understand.
Correct.
All right. Number three is what is the trait you must deplore in yourself?
Deplore in myself.
Yeah, the trait you don't like in yourself.
Hmm. Uh, so I think I still lack in delegating work. I have always been an executioner, executing, getting to the results, getting the outcome. And if things are not working in a sense where I'm not getting the outcomes from the people around me, this can be from my professional or my personal life, I'll jump in
Mm.
and I'll take that task, that problem to the execution and get that solution out. I hate that. Why? Because it brings a lot on my table. I mean, there is never ending
Yeah,
work, there is
yeah.
never ending tasks, there is never ending commitments, interactions on the family side, on my professional side that I have to go through. And I think
Understand.
it takes a toll on me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still struggling to, work with people, to trust people, because I think I can do it in a day. People will probably take 2 days, 3 days, or even a week. And the deadline maybe is after the week. But I have this mindset, let's just complete this and move on to the next task or next job or
Yeah.
next assignment. So that has always been a problem for me since the beginning
Mm.
of my professional journey, and maybe before that as well, because my father was in military, so he had this military background. He had this structure in place.
Yes.
Everything needs to be prim and proper, perfect, on time. So unconsciously, I had similar sort of a
Yeah.
mindset.
I see the pattern. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't do it like I'm intending it to be done, then I'll jump in, I'll take over, and I'll get it done. Sometimes I get used for it. People misuse me. And sometimes we get great results out of it. But I mean, moving forward, maybe as a leader down the road, I think something I need to work on where I can trust my team, trust my people, where I can give them go ahead, do it, or even fail, but it's fine.
Yeah.
So that is something which is a huge gap
Yeah. Yeah.
in my career, in my personal life as well, that I need to
I
work on.
understand. I know a few people like yourself, indeed. They are high achievers, can do it very quickly compared to the usual average. And the temptation is big to do it by yourself because you do it.
Yeah,
Where when you say that you're a leader and so little by little you have to empower others to become that way instead of doing it yourself. And I think it's an internal struggle probably
yes,
to refrain yourself and accept that mistakes will be made while you know if you do it, there will be no mistake and that it will be done properly.
yeah.
That's a huge challenge in it. I appreciate that. Yeah. So that's the trait you must deploy in yourself. Now, what is the trait you must deploy in others?
In others, it can vary, but I think if you don't have the integrity, that becomes a problem.
Mm.
You don't have the values, you are not committing to what you are saying, it becomes a problem for me to work with you, to have some sort of a relationship in place. Integrity is something that I look in everybody around me. Even when, let's say, I'm interviewing in whatever capacity, in whatever company or enterprise I'm part of, or even running my startup back in the day, if you don't have the skill set, it's fine. Skills can be learned, right? I mean, somebody will take a few days, somebody will take few weeks, but you can actually learn them. But integrity comes from inside. It's a character development sort of a thing that takes time, and it's very important for me to work with people that have the high integrity in place, where I can trust them, I can work with them, I can be open up to them. So if you don't have that, probably I'm not going to be around you.
Mm. Got it. Now, which living person do you most admire?
Living person that
Yeah.
I admire.
Can be someone famous, can be someone around you.
I mean, if I have to talk about it from my personal side, then definitely my father. My father started his journey actually from a village. We Originally I'm from Pakistan, and my father was born in a village in a remote town in the southern part of Pakistan. And from there, he struggled. He had seven siblings. His father passed away when he was in grade six. His elder brother kind of like took care of him, and eventually he became a doctor. He joined military. He retired at a very, very high rank, and is one of the most successful people in our family to date. So he has always inspired me, and kind of like, yes, there is another angle to it where, the structure and the time, like I mentioned, comes into the play, but
Yes.
there is also an inspirational journey that we always had, that we have to deliver on where he started and where he is, and we have to take the next
I
step.
understand. There's kind of an expectation now.
Yes,
Mm.
yes. So, I mean, he has always been phenomenal in that sense, although he has been strict, but we also took it that where he is coming from, his background, because he never had a parental figure in that
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So, learning from his elder brother and reaching where he has been something that is truly inspiring across the board for all of our family. And I think that helped me a lot, even directly or indirectly, even if he was mentoring me or not. I saw this as an example to take, and I think he is one of the pivotal person in my life that has brought me to where I am today.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. Yeah. It's your standard
Yeah,
that you had to achieve no matter what.
absolutely.
Nice journey. Big one. Now, something very different. What is your greatest extravagance?
Extravagance. Extravagance in what sense?
Biggest indulgence, something you love that few people would know because outside of the professional circles, maybe you have a passion or something. It can be material, immaterial.
So I think again, this kind of like changes as well over the time,
Yeah,
your interests, your hobbies,
sure.
uh, whatever mind frame you are in. I Before joining AWS, I was with a startup called Kareem. It's equivalent of Grab in based in Middle East, but had their operations in Pakistan as well. That I was heading for their B2B vertical. I was in Karachi. It's our biggest city in Pakistan, and I just started, getting into motorcycling. My parents never let me, ride a bike
Mm.
because they thought it's dangerous.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
if
can relate.
yeah,
I have
e-
boys, so I can relate.
exactly right. If you have an accident, chances are you will be disabled or
Yes.
you can die as well. And if you don't have the right protection, or even with the right protection,
Yeah.
the risk is so much high. I think there is a study that out of 20 people, six or seven people die who are the motorcyclists
Mm.
as compared to any other mode of transport.
Yeah,
So
no
obviously, I
wonder.
understand them, but then when I had this independence in a sense. My family was in a different city and I was there alone working. I asked one of my colleagues to, help me ride a motorcycle, and I learned through him. And then after 3 months of that, I just went with him and another motorcyclist on one of my best trips of life. It was from Islamabad, our capital city,
Hmm.
all the way to Hunza. It was a 3-day journey.
Okay.
Like our northern mountains, we have 7 or 8 biggest, highest peaks in the world over there. And we went on motorcycles, 150cc, not any powerful, proper touring bikes, just ordinary
Yeah,
bikes.
yeah,
And it was one of the best trips I ever had. And a lot of people stopped me, like, I mean, are you crazy? I mean, you just learned the bike and it's so much risky, and you're going into the
mm,
mountains,
yeah,
and we don't have any proper traffic rules per se. It's very chaotic
yeah,
if you
yeah, yeah.
talk about overall South Asia. But somehow I went through it, and after that I just love doing it. And now I have traveled all over the world, in a sense that I have rode in San Francisco, I have rented a bike in Jakarta. I have rented a bike in Bali. I went from Kuala Lumpur all the way to Penang, one time into Cameron Highland, have been to all over Pakistan in all the provinces. And whenever I get the time, I just go out there and just ride.
Nice.
And it's a risky business for sure, but it gives me a pleasure to be just with myself, because
Mm.
when you're riding, you are disconnected from everything else. You're focusing on the ride because you don't want to make a slip, because
Yes. Yeah.
it can be fatal.
Correct.
And then you are there in the physical world, as compared to, let's say, vehicle or a car. Like, I mean, there is air
Yeah, you're
coming in.
part of, yeah, there's no barrier
Yes.
between you and the external. This is
Yeah,
what you mean.
you can
Yes,
feel the
yes.
smell, you can feel the air,
I
you
understand.
can feel the atmosphere, the weather, everything, and you just become part of the world in a different way.
Mm.
So it's really liberating. It's really kind of like gives me a disconnect from my day to day and centers me back to who I am. And you're talking to yourself as well. You're thinking about things because you're not riding with anybody else. Sometimes you are in the group, but when you're riding, you're focusing. So it solves a lot of untangled issues. So that's my way to go. That's my edgy thing that I continue doing and probably never going to stop.
Great. So you own a motorbike now?
I just got a license in Malaysia to ride a motorcycle, so I'm going to buy one. Before that, I had an international driving license, so I used to rent
Yep,
motorcycles
I
wherever I
understand.
go.
Yeah.
So
So that's
I'm
another milestone in your journey now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Nice. Nice. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now, what is your current state of mind in this period of time?
Current state of mind. So there is a lot of changes that are happening around the world. We are seeing from the good all the way to the bad
Yeah.
and the ugly. So wars, skirmishes, inflation, economical challenges, and then on the technological shift, with the advent of generative AI coming into the play, layoffs happening, new products, new way of thinking coming in, higher productivity levels, a lot of displacements around the world. So I think it's a chaotic mode, but I am a firm believer of through chaos we bring in the order. So we are going through this great transitional period across the world where things are changing rapidly. I hope towards much more better,
Hmm.
much more positive way. But let's see. But right now, my mindset is sort of uncertain. I'm not sure where we are heading,
Understand.
and I need to navigate through all of this uncertainty in my professional career as well as in my personal life, which is a great place, especially if you are an entrepreneur, if you are an aspiring founder. There is a lot of opportunities to grab onto through this uncertainty. There are a lot of problems that can be solved through digital transformation or technological
True.
solution.
True.
So that's where I'm at, totally uncertain of what is going to happen.
Okay. Now, what do you consider the most overrated virtue?
Overrated virtue. Hmm, that's interesting.
Yeah.
In
Especially recently, there has been the Revolut founder
hmm,
that said something about that, actually. Not that he was answering the question, but he said, kindness at work. I
hmm,
don't really value that. So
hmm,
it's kind of, yeah, everyone is talking about that now, that we should, make a happy workplace. But actually, what matters to me is results, efficiency,
hmm,
not kindness. So
hmm,
he could answer this question like, kindness is really overrated.
hmm,
So
hmm.
it's kind of in the air somehow.
I mean, I agree with that in a sense that it's always about the outcomes that we need to look into, but it's also about the efforts. So I would also challenge that if you are not achieving what you are supposed to achieve, it's fine. Are you working towards it every day? So for me, previously in my different roles, I have been a leader as well. I have managed teams. So even when we are not giving results, I have been a sales leader. So we have targets
Yes.
every week, every month,
Yeah,
every
it's like
quarter.
front and center.
Yeah. And once you have achieved, you start all the way
Yeah.
back from zero
Yeah.
again. Yeah. So if the targets are not being achieved, it's fine. Are you putting in the efforts? Are you strategizing? Are you looking into the gaps? Are you working towards your whatever failures that you have gotten through in terms of not achieving those numbers? Are you having that plan, a roadmap in place, and then you are following that roadmap? If you are, then it's fine. It's great. So a lot of people kind of like go for these high flyer salespeople. I go for somebody who is more of a hustler, who says never to anything. I mean, whatever you put at them, they are going to find a way to deliver on that. And in my past life, I have done a couple of angel investments as an angel investor, and it's not in the ideas. Okay, this is a great idea to work
Yeah.
on, because everybody has
Yeah,
ideas,
correct.
and we both can work on the same idea as well. It's how we are going to execute on that idea.
Correct.
So I always said that, and have actually done it as well, that I invest in founders, not in ideas. And why? Because I know those people. I know that they are not going to give up. So that's something which I learned during my time with Antler through founders program. After that, I started my startup. So their founder, the Antler's founder, actually mentioned this word grit, which is like, defines all of this
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
explained, of not giving up,
Yeah.
of always, finding your way out and pivoting where it is required to do so. These are the things that you need to look into, rather than something which is like, okay, high academics, or some people or some job postings are sort of giving you explanation on, we need documented track record. So that track record was in a different time altogether, with a different company, with a different mindset. So you start new now. So gauging people on their previous achievements, I think it's overrated.
Okay, got that. Now, on what occasion do you lie? Lie as in cheating.
Hmm. I wouldn't say I don't lie, because that's a lie.
And everyone, I think, at some point
Yeah, yeah,
has
yeah,
to in a
yeah,
way or another.
absolutely, absolutely. I lie when I see that I can lie to solve a conflict, or solve a fight or a quarrel, a
Understand.
situation that can go really bad. I can just solve it by lying my way out of it, maybe to save someone or even to save myself in that situation. Post that situation, maybe I realized that maybe we had our open heart conversation and talked through it, but in the heat of the moment, you are not really sure, and sometimes you just want to close it.
True. True.
So yeah, I lie in a situation where I can kind of like minimize the conflict sometimes, to reassess the situation and then come back with a different strategy.
Interesting. Okay, that's good. Now, what do you most dislike about your appearance, if anything?
Uh, to be very honest, I don't really think about my appearance so much, because I'm always out there talking to people. If I start to look, thinking about what to wear,
Yes.
how to look, how to
Yes.
talk, if I need to have, because from South Asia, we also need to have a certain accent,
Mm-hmm.
the American or British accent
Mm-hmm.
that,
I got you here.
yeah, yeah. So I never had those things, and all of those things kind of like became blockers in my growth journey. And then I think somewhere down the road, I realized that these are not important, not by staying in my country, but getting out of my
Mm-hmm.
country. So I don't really feel that I need to look or act in a certain way. I am who I am. And if you like me, great. If you don't like me, I'm not going to change myself for you. Maybe we don't need to be together if I have to, switch myself in a different fashion altogether.
Yeah.
That being said, I used to have a ponytail. I used to have long hairs.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
different today.
A lot different. And this is not like 10 years ago, this is like 3, 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to, look into it, because I love having long hair, have a ponytail in place. So maybe I will go some point in time to Turkey to get a hair transplant.
Mm-hmm.
But that is something that, yeah, if I want to change within myself, would be just for my own satisfaction. But
Yeah.
overall, I am happy to be whoever I am.
And that is not easy to be in that kind of state of mind, you know?
Oh,
So good on
absolutely.
you because it's really not easy, especially in these modern times where everything is around appearance and how you look and fake, on videos and all. So glad you are for yourself that you are
And
in that
people
place.
actually lose a lot of opportunities just because of that.
True.
They don't go out, they don't talk to people, they don't
True.
interact because in their mind they have, these stories, made up stories, and they just lose on a lot. And for people like me, then the those opportunities are there to grab. I think which makes my life easy because there is no competition,
Mm.
because all of people in their head have all these blockers in place,
Yeah.
which I kind of like challenged and broke along the years. So yes, I mean, if you have those, I mean, work on those.
Very good. Now, which living person do you most despise? So I have to put a warning here. We don't despise so much anymore in our society, modern times. Maybe back then was all the rage in those kind of circles. And we don't, of course, say names because, well, everything is public now somehow.
Hmm.
So I think modern take of it is more about which kind of people do you tend to stay away from? Do you really not like to mingle with?
I think there are some people that are in positions where they have uh, global influences, and their influences kind of like shape the world, our future to be where it is going to be. And sometimes those people get us into a lot of bad places, like yeah, it can be war, it can be economical disaster, it can be a climate disaster, so to
Hmm.
speak. So I think it is, the higher you go, the more responsibility you have to deliver on your decisions, because you're not making a decision for one or 1,000 or 1 million person. Maybe you are making a decision for 8 billion people on the planet. So I think if those people in those positions are not making those decisions for current and future generations, uh, for me, they are the problem that
Mm.
needs to be looked into.
Yeah, I totally understand. Now, what is the quality you most like in a man, the gender man?
Oh, gender, man. I mean, we just mentioned the integrity, so I would double click on that. That I love people. I love men that have their values in place. I may agree or disagree with those
Hmm.
values, but they have these values in place and they follow them. They become their life principles.
Yeah.
It's easy to work with those people rather than somebody that keeps on changing and shifting and switching, kind of like conniving. So I really, really respect people, even though I don't agree with what they say, but they believe in what they say. They believe in their values. They believe in their morality. Their compass is intact in that sense. And you can see that when you start talking to them, start working with them. And sometimes some people are so clear that in a very first meeting, you can actually tell that this person is not going to take any bullshit in that
Mm.
sense. So I really, really respect that, and I love to work with that kind of people.
Okay. So is it valid as well for the woman gender?
For women, so I mean, men and women in my experience are different. Both have strengths and weaknesses. Women are more diverse, where men are more targeted towards one assignment. Give them one task, they are going to deliver on that. Women can actually deliver on multiple tasks,
This is
or
what
the
we've been
yeah,
said, but I'm not sure when I'm thinking my case. I'm thinking, is it true or not? I'm not sure. But this
maybe.
is what he said.
I mean, you're running this podcast, and earlier you were talking to some other people about some other initiative
Sure.
as well, and you were interacting with me on WhatsApp as well. And during all of that time, I was just doing 2 or 3 tasks
Oh,
that were,
really?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
So I don't go out of it. So I mean, sometimes unconsciously you're doing things, I think. So you're not seeing it. You maybe need an outer person view. Uh, but for women, I think loyalty. They are loyal to whatever they are believing in. It can be towards their family, towards their job, towards a vision. If they are a founder, they are building something. They are true to that. So I see that loyalty, I see that passion in place. Then definitely, I respect that. I would love to work with such wonderful women.
Okay. Now, which words or phrases do you most overuse if you are aware of it?
Ah, yes, I use, I think I'm bad with my vocabulary. I keep repeating the same words in
Hmm.
English because I'm bilingual. Urdu is my mother's tongue, my national language from Pakistan. Then there are few local languages, Punjabi, Saraiki, that I know, and then English, of course. So sometimes I mix it up.
Right.
My brain is working maybe in Urdu, and I need to translate
Yeah.
that into
Yeah.
English. And, so I think one phrase that I use a lot is at that point in time, at this point in
Ah,
time.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, and you might once start working on the video, you will see that I will be using this a
Interesting.
lot.
Interesting. I think everyone has at some point something.
Yeah.
But at least yours is nice. It's not like if I refer to myself, it would be bad words that I couldn't say on mic, in
Oh,
French, especially. But I don't attach any meaning to it, but I know it's recurrent. So at least yours is nice.
oh.
Okay. What or who is the greatest love of your life?
What or who is the greatest love of my life? Oh, wow. I mean, a lot of people, but at the moment, definitely my son and my daughter.
Hmm.
Uh, whatever I have done, I'm not a person that has built an empire of wealth, of assets. I don't like that, one, and maybe I'm not good at it. But what I have done is that I have, brought up some great kids. So my son and my daughter, my son is 17, my daughter is 16. They're soon going to start their universities. So yeah, they are the love, they are my weakness, and they are somebody that I really focus on, and whatever I can do for them or whatever I didn't get in my childhood, I can deliver on that. And sometimes I think I over deliver.
Mm.
That's
As a way
something.
to compensate somehow,
Yes,
yeah?
so I need to balance that. But both of them, I mean, they are my world, they are my universe.
That is nice. Now, when and where were you the happiest?
When and where I was the happiest. I'm happy here in Kuala Lumpur, but the happiest I have ever been was, again, I'll go back to my time in Karachi in
Hmm.
Pakistan, when I was, I was actually staying as a single person, as a loner. I had my work, and then it was just me. So I made a couple of friends over there that were adventure seekers, and we went to different beaches, these remote beaches in a province called Balochistan, and we don't have enough population over there. Population is more centric towards our province called Punjab.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's untouched. And these guys were locals living in Karachi. They were born in Karachi, so they knew these spots. They know people over there. So somehow I got together with them, and I started, exploring, going on these
Mm.
adventures. That's how I started into motorcycling as well. I started into camping, and going to these remote areas, staying in the night, and looking at the stars in a different way altogether, and hearing the ocean, feeling the ocean breeze, and seeing the waves coming in and going out at the night time, and there's nobody with you. I mean, that was a different experience altogether, because like I said, I'm from central Punjab, so it's a flat terrain, no mountains, no winter as such. We don't have any ice coming in. We do have desert, but other than that, there is no diversity in our
Hmm.
landscape. It's very green, it's very agriculture of the sorts. But when once I moved to the south, I started living near the ocean. I started going to these outback terrains and these mountains and these deserts, and it continues to to start changing after 1 hour. It was super exciting. It was new. I felt like that I'm in a different world altogether.
Ah, understood.
So I really love that. And the friends that I made, I mean, I kind of like connected with them. They are still my friends. We are still planning a lot of trips and sometimes they happen, sometimes they don't happen. But that's the moment or the time that I was actually the happiest in
I
my life.
understand. Very much of a um, life shaping, let's say, period of time here
Oh,
where you
absolutely.
discover many things and that's your future somehow. Oh, that is nice. All right. Now, which talent would you most like to have?
The talent I most like to have. I sometimes get into things very quickly. Uh, Professionally, I can give you the example like sometimes emotions kick in and they take the best out of me. If I can control those emotions, even I'm not talking about negative emotions, even the positive emotions, like sometimes you make mistakes while being excited, sometimes you make mistake while being angry. So I'm trying to control my emotions before I make my decisions, both in my professional
Mm,
and personal life.
yeah.
I keep consciously putting in the effort whenever something goes a bit off in my radar. Why did this happen? And it all brings me back to my emotions that are not in check. Sometimes you need to control your emotions before you do go out there and execute or even have a conversation. So that is something that I really, really want to change in myself. And
Mm,
I kind of like struggle.
understand. Okay. Now, if you could change one thing, it might be that about yourself, what would it be? Maybe it's the answer you just gave.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Absolutely.
What do you consider your greatest achievement?
My greatest achievement. Mm. Again, my greatest achievement is my kids. Uh, like I said, I have invested a lot of money on their education. I try to give them as much as possible in terms of the exposure. They have been to all the companies that I worked at, even when they were little kids. I used to work in the telecom sector or in FMCG sector. I used to make a note of taking them at my workplace so
Okay.
they can interact with the people. They can see what is happening in the professional environment. They can get exposed to it. I take them on my adventures sometimes, as edgy or as risky they are. I want them to experience that because I think going out there, especially in a situation which is a bit discomforting, you can learn a lot. You come out of it as a better person. So I have educated them, I have given them the tools, I have exposed them to whatever platforms I could and still do. And I think they are my best investment. Hope to get a good ROI on that. And what I mean by ROI is not that
Yeah,
they
not the
become billionaires or
financial. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
trillionaires. They become better people. They make a difference in this world. They can change the lives of the other human beings for better. I mean, that would be really, really great. And that's what I keep focusing on. I'm not asking them, or even when we have this conversation, go and get an A plus grade or an A grade, or go to an Ivy League university. No, become a better person. You are here for a limited amount of time. Definitely enjoy that time, but deliver in that time as well by helping others, by supporting others.
Mm, that is a great education here. Nice. Now, if you were to die and come back as a person or a thing, what would it be?
Think I'm not so sure. If superheroes are kind of like a thing, definitely I would like to be Dr. Manhattan. I think he's one of the greatest superhero because he had all the powers that I can imagine. But if I want to come back as a person, I would like to come back as me, but having all these learnings and exposure that I have, even right now, that can help me, come back and be even more better.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, I mean, I don't want to be somebody else because that's their life. My life is different. I had good and bad experiences. Yes, definitely. And there are times where I wish that I am not who I am, but that's part of the journey. Because you need to accept all of it because that acceptance is going to open doors for you to actually understand your problems. So where I am today, the kind of maturity that I have, I mean, it's still a long way, I think, But where I am, I can come back with that set of wisdom again as me. I'm all in. Sign me up.
Nice. Now, where would you most like to live? And I think you hinted on it in the previous answers.
Yeah, I mean, I say that to my wife actually, that once our kids are settled, I'll just go back to our country in our province, Balochistan, where they are pristine beaches, and make a sort of like a restaurant near the beach,
Mhm.
where maybe she can run the restaurant, because she's a foodie. She has worked in United Nations. She has worked in fashion retail sector,
Mm.
and I mean she has passion to run a restaurant. So why don't you run a restaurant? We make it a hotel as well. I just maybe write another book over there. Just go do scuba diving, enjoy the
Oh,
nature.
that is nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people can come and just stay, and we can have those interactions with those people, and our kids can visit as well. So if that can happen, definitely that is something on the on our pipeline. But if it's not possible, then I also love the I haven't seen the whole world, but I also love the west side of US, San Francisco.
Mhm.
I mean, I was a founder. I work in the startup ecosystem very closely. I think San Francisco is one of the greatest city, even with all its challenges. The growth that happens over there is phenomenal as compared to anywhere else.
Sure.
So, I mean, if I want to continue doing what I'm doing, that area or that place is great to be. And I mean, it's always sunny, weather is great, there is ocean. I mean, the breeze is very chilling, very calming. So why not? So, I mean, let's see. I mean, these are just thoughts.
Yeah, but the sea is somewhere around you.
100%.
Yeah. Okay,
100%.
I
Yeah.
understand why. Living in KL, I'm missing the seaside from before KL,
Oh,
which
yeah,
was
yeah,
Sydney in Australia. So, yeah, missing a bit this kind of calming nature,
yeah. Mm.
even if it's not so calm down there, but I appreciate. Okay, so now, what is your most treasured possession? Again, material, immaterial.
My treasured possession is all of the learnings that I have gotten over the years, all of the wisdom, all of the failures that I have inside me. Nobody can take that away from me.
Sure.
I mean, I earned them through my journey, and they help me a lot in finding my next in my life. Also, they help me a lot in terms of maintaining the relationship with my family, also maintaining those relationship in my professional environment, help me grow, help me stay, help me understand. So and I think that is something people will say, your family, people will say wealth, or people will say their career, or even their startup. But I think it all are memories, it all are experiences, and they are in you. And you can say them, but at the core, it's what it is that I'm saying. So that's what is important to me. Whatever happens, in a good or bad way, all of this is going to stay with me and can help me grow. Even if I go down, it can help me go up, and it can help me navigate, like I mentioned earlier, in terms of all the uncertainties. So that's my, I think, greatest possession
Nice. Now, what do you regard as the lowest depth of misery,
in my life.
generally speaking? The real state where it's desperation here.
When people have no way out of, their turmoils, their hardships, there are a lot of places in the world where we are seeing very bad stuff happening, and people on the ground who are going through that experience have no control over it,
Mm,
you know. So I think that is not a place to be in. I mean, think of it from a parent's perspective. Would you put your children into it? Never. So why would you ask anybody else to be in that place where people are not in control to change their life? That's a very, very bad place to be
true,
in.
true, true. Another guest said a similar thing around losing hope.
at some point, what
Absolutely,
is life worth it? You
that
know,
is losing hope, right?
exactly.
I cannot change my life because I'm in a situation where I just cannot. You can always say that no, you don't lose hope, or you can always, yeah. But the thing is that there are situations where it's just like until or unless there is some external, call it divine intervention, call it spirituality, or from the religious angle, or call it somebody else coming and helping you get out of it, or at least giving you a push. Sometimes you need that.
True, true. Now very different. What is your favorite occupation?
My favorite occupation.
The ideal occupation.
When I was a kid, I wanted to become a fighter pilot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I went through that selection process, giving
Okay.
test, and then at that point in time, we realized
There you
that, you
go.
know,
First time I think in the interview.
yeah. So my eyesight. So we realized that my eyesight is weak and I cannot
Oh,
become a pilot. Then I tried that maybe I should become a commercial pilot, but for commercial pilot, the fees was so much that it was not affordable at that stage. And I have four other siblings, so I don't want to take everything for
sure.
myself. So I always wanted to become a pilot. It still attracts me, and
Hmm.
sometimes I push my son, "Why don't you look into the commercial
Oh,
pilot?"
yeah.
And he's like, "Don't put your dreams on me, Dad," which is right.
True, true.
So that is a profession that excites me, definitely. Or over the years, I'm watching Formula One since I was a kid. There are few drivers that I kind of like look up to. There's a driver that used to race, Kimi Räikkönen,
Yep,
Iceman.
yep.
Yeah, I mean, he had
From
no
Europe.
emotions, even when things are not going fine. He's like in a very calm and very stable and very controlled way. And I used to, look up to him in a sense that how he's controlling all of that is happening inside him. So, I mean, that was one other thing that I was really aspiring to me, maybe to become an F1 driver, which is almost near to impossible. But yeah, maybe in some other lifetime. But where I am today, I really love it because I'm at a center where I can work with the enterprises, I can work with the startups. I'm working in the big tech sector. Anything that happens in technological universe, I am one of those person that come to know about it very early,
Yeah, true.
right? Even if it's happening in some other company, in some other big tech company, the process or the mechanisms are in place as such that I'm part of the communities, I'm part of a circle where one way or the other, I'm going to find out about it and I can learn from it. I can, integrate it in my life. I can mentor the people about it and they can start building on
Yeah,
it. And as a ex-founder, I was always like I should, chase the dream of taking my startup to a unicorn stage, which didn't happen because of certain factors, and some of them are my mistakes. Yes, I accept those failures, and then I had to sort of like go back into the corporate life. But luckily, I gotten into this startup turned unicorn called Kareem. So it had already had a startup philosophy in place where we were breaking things, moving fast, experimenting, trying new products, and then switching and moving into the AWS side where I'm working closely with the startups. So yes, I'm in a position right now where I have best of both worlds in the professional setting of the things. If you want the flavor of enterprise, it's there. If you want the flavor of startups, it's there.
true,
And
true.
you are in the middle of it, trying to bridge that gap. You are also working with the investors. What are they looking for? Why are they investing? Who are they investing in? You are talking to brilliant people, brilliant minds all around, and constantly new things, new ideas are coming into the place. And every day I think there is a new challenge, there is something new to tackle or learn. And it's been amazing. Like, I mean, even in the last 6 to 9 months of how I work or how my productivity has shifted in using new and new tools, it's staggering. I mean, just 6 months ago, if there is a task that took me like 4 or 5 hours to complete, Now it takes me 10 to 20 minutes. Same
True,
task,
true.
because there are tools in place that can help you deliver on that. So, and it happens to us first because you are in this space where those tools are created by a founder, by a big tech player, or by an enterprise that you are interacting with, and you get a chance to experiment and work on those. So I'm in a perfect position that I don't want to change. Yes, I want to grow in it more, expand my horizon, maybe look outwards from ASEAN. Sometimes I do. So more along the lines of what's happening in other geos, other regions. But I don't want to change that. I want to continue, moving within this. And this is the best place to be.
Mm.
Kind of like you can say, and some people say it, that it's like the highlight of my career. I
Understand?
started
Yeah.
from nowhere, and where I am today, even I wouldn't have guessed it.
Mm.
So when I was a kid, back in the 90s, I used to listen to Bezos and Gates and Steve
Yeah.
Jobs on my desktop computer and get inspired of what they are doing or what they are building by being in a very small town in Pakistan, having a dial-up internet that keeps on disconnecting,
Yeah. Yeah.
and thinking that some days I will be there in some way. And people used to call me crazy, but here I am, right?
True. True.
So what more should I ask for? So I think I'm in a perfect place. I don't want it to be changed.
Yeah, I understand. Especially you are part of the players that are shaping this world. So I think at your position, it's just like the best, position you could ever dream of. I mean, not that there is not more coming to you, of course, but right now it's exciting. Yeah, I understand the excitement behind it. All right, very nice. So now, what is your most marked characteristic?
That people can,
Yeah, that could be pinpointed by someone saying, if I think of Gaz, he is like this or he is like
you
that.
just said it in the start, you said he's the Mr. Startup. So I'm really good at building relationships. I am, you can say somebody, I don't know if there is a official term for it, but I am like a networker.
Yeah,
I can connect anybody with anybody,
nice.
because chances are I would know everybody. Because not only that is part of my job, that is something that I love doing it. I mean, before AWS, I was a country head working in Kareem. So I was doing ride hailing services, selling them to enterprises. So again, building those relationships,
Yeah,
because sales happen through those relationships in place. And then prior to that, running my own startup, talking to VCs, hiring people, expanding, building our partnership, building our demand and supply. All of that requires relationships in place, because you
true.
cannot work alone. And all of that goes back to again my early childhood, where I was moving cities, because my father was in military, so he had to keep on changing stations. So we used
Yep,
to move from
yep.
one city to another city to another city. And the challenge always was, going to new school, were, studying with new kids, starting to understand the environment, the atmosphere. And once you get a hold of it, you are moved. You are out of the city, you are in the next one. You start all the way from zero.
Yep.
And I used to hate that. I used to despise that. I was like, why can't we just settle at one place and just do whatever we are supposed to do? But unconsciously, all of that made me who I am today, because now I love the change. And I go out, I meet with people, and I make sure that I invest my social time in such a way where I'm getting something out of it. I'm not going to go back to meeting the same person over and over again, right? Because if you can meet somebody new, you can learn from them, their background, where they are coming from,
True, true.
rather than somebody that you already know. I'm not saying don't meet them, don't meet your
Yeah,
friends,
of course.
but still, I mean, have some social time where you can invest in such a way where you are constantly improving on. It doesn't need to be in a formal setting. You're going to a training or a workshop, because I think you can't learn more in that sort of a setting rather than in an informal fashion, like a networking event, or maybe post that going for drinks with some people, and then you realize somebody who has built a unicorn company that you wouldn't have ever been able to meet.
True.
So I think that is a great place to be at.
Very good. I can relate on the change and liking the change and being obliged to build new relationship because my dad was not in the military, but he used to change work and change region a lot across France. And back then, I'm a 80s baby or late 90s,
Hmm.
late 70s. Back then, you wouldn't really change compared to us. So at some point it came with challenges.
Yeah.
But being an adult now, I love to change. I love to meet new people. Then I guess it's related to that background. Now I hear you. So all in all, it's kind of a strength, I think. So it makes who you are now very natural to relationship. That's
Yeah.
great. All right. Now, what do you most value in your friends?
What I most value in my friends, I mean, accept me for who I am. Um, I have been in places where I was a complete failure. There was a point in time that I was jobless and my wife was working to supporting the family. And I had friends then, and those friends are still my friends because they accept me for who I am and they love me for what I have done. They cherish my success. But when I was failing, they were there to support me, mentor me, guide me. There are very few because people change, and sometimes because of having a gap in a relationship, there are some misunderstandings. But they are very, and I think the number kind of like decreases over the years once you become more older. You don't want to have that politics. You don't want to have that filters. You want to
Mm,
have that open
yeah,
relationship
yeah,
where you can talk easily
yeah.
and
True relationships.
yes, exactly. So when you start putting in those filters, there's a decrease coming into the people. In early 20s you might have a lot of friends and you're continue having them, adding them more and more and more, and then you don't have the time and energy to meet everybody.
True, true.
And especially once you are in my line of work where you already have to go to these
I
networking
was about to
events.
say it's
Yes.
part of your job as well
Yeah.
to make new friends in a way,
Yeah,
professional friends.
exactly. And then how can you give the time? Because you have to give the time to your
Yeah,
family.
yeah,
So priorities, right? So they are couple, but yes, for me, the trait that is super important is that they stay true to whatever you are and they support you no matter what.
yeah. Reliable friends, yeah.
Yes.
Now, who are your favorite writers?
My favorite writers. So uh, you might have heard about Noah Harari, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He
I
has
love his books.
yes. So his books, the three main books, that really kind of like changed my mindset about human beings. Where he talks about that we create stories, because in a way I'm a storyteller. You are
Mm-hmm.
a
Yeah,
storyteller.
yeah,
This podcast is form of a story, and it was really amazing that we have created these stories which are kind of like fake in general sense. We have created money.
yeah.
I mean, because
I
we
love
believe
this
in
one
money,
especially. Yeah,
right? I mean, do animals have any sort of that sort of a currency in place? Not so much, right? We created this whole monetary system, and then we all believe in this. Okay, this is what we believe in, and then
yeah,
everything is based around
yeah,
that, and it's all a sham. It's all a
yeah.
story.
It's the biggest story ever.
Yeah,
Somehow.
exactly. And how we start from very, very early, the Stone Age, and then, the transition that happened today, and where we are moving towards in all those three books. So that was really, really eye opener for me, from the technological perspective as well as from the philosophical perspective. So I really admire. I listen to him as well. He gives a lot of talks.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't met him. I would love to, and maybe have a chat someday soon. He's one. Then How to Be a Rocket Scientist, if I'm not wrong, written by Ozan Weirel, where he talks about all the failures that the rocket scientists go through. You might have seen recently, the blow up of
Yeah,
another SpaceX
yeah,
rocket. Even if it's a very minute thing, if it's not optimum, it's not being tailored to there are like millions that you can lose, right? So how to go through all of that pressure, how to be performing continuously when you know the odds are so much high. So that book really I kind of like influenced learning from that, and you have added some of the learnings in my book as well. But if you read it, I think every founder should read it. It talks more about, when to pivot, when to change, how to deal with the failures, how to be at an optimum level, always performing. So it was really interesting. So these two and their books and their topics have been really, really inspiring for me.
Right, game changers somehow.
Yeah, yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
nice. Now, who is your hero of fiction?
Hero of fiction, like
Could be books, comics, movies. You said a superhero earlier.
mhm.
Um, Anything that for you is some kind of hero.
So, yeah, I mean, these movies, superhero movies, the Marvel movies, they they're a good time pass. But for me, I recently watched this show, a Korean show actually, Mercy for No One. It's a very intense and very action-oriented show. And I don't want to spoil it, but the lead character in it, I really liked how he believed in his mission and then delivering on that mission. Everybody around him were giving their own thoughts, their own mindset, their own guidance, but he had just one thing in his mind, and eventually he delivered on that. That kind of really resonated with me in a sense that when I mentioned about my childhood, I want to work in the big tech, and people were
Yeah.
laughing about me. And then there was a point in time that I was in the telecom sector, and I was in a very remote city. I was managing a few third-party franchises, and I was like, I'll go to our head office. Where's your head office? Your head office is in Norway. Are you insane? You will never be able to do that. Even the colleagues back then were like, making jokes about it. And I actually went to our head office a couple of times through different capacities because I found a way. And I have seen people that kind of get influence from other and give up on their dreams. I didn't. I think I was a fool, or I was immature, or I was like, they don't know better than me. So let me try. What's the worst that could happen?
Sure.
They will continue laughing. They are already laughing, right?
Yeah.
So
One day they won't if you manage to succeed.
yes, yes. And people, man, there are like 8 billion people, and you cannot make everybody happy.
Sure.
There's some people that will be happy, then some people that will hate you. I mean, that's life, accept it. So you cannot be a people pleaser. You cannot continue going out and making everybody happy because you cannot. If I make you happy, somebody hates you, they will start hating me as well.
Sure.
How do I, manage that chemistry? So just focus on your priorities, what you want to do. And I think if you start getting influence from other people, it's a rabbit hole. You will go down and you will never be able to come out of it.
True.
So in that show, he had just one mission, one vision, and a couple of episodes, and then in the ending, he delivered on that. It costed him a lot, but over that journey, I think what he was intending to do, he did that, and that's what truly matters. If you ask me today, do I have any regrets if I die today? Not so much, because I did what I was planning to do. So I actually did, I far did. If you ask 10-year-old or 20-year-old version of me,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have even had the slightest or the remotest thought that I am where I am
Sure.
today.
Sure.
So once you are where you are, you need to go back and see where you started from. You need to stay humble. You need to stay grounded. So that show really resonated with my own story, my own journey.
And it's echoing also to something you said previously that you are valuing people that have tried everything, put everything in place to try to succeed into a specific goal, can be big, can be small, rather than that just give up or have tried little.
Yes.
So it's all interconnected, what you're saying here.
True.
Indeed. All right. Now, a bit of a same question here. Which historical figure do you most identify with? I guess identify is a bit strong, but at least get inspired by. Do you have any?
Historical figure.
Yeah.
Historical figure that I identify with can be mythological, can be
Yeah.
any, right?
Yeah, historical can be quite large actually. It could be a real personality as much as a mythological or religious,
Hmm.
figure.
Hmm. Uh, there are few that kind of like inspire me. But if I have to choose one for this podcast, I think I would go with uh, one of the prophets from Islam, Prophet Abraham.
Hmm.
He's a prophet in Christianity and
Yeah,
Judaism as well.
correct. Correct.
His story really resonates with me a lot because, again, I'm not talking from the religious perspective, right or wrong. I'm talking from his perspective that he believed in his faith so much that he kind of like challenged the whole ecosystem around him. He challenged the status quo. And I read his story when I was a child, and I really got fascinated. And it kind of like brought courage into me, confidence into me that maybe everybody around you is wrong and you are the right. There's a concept called sheep mentality. People are just following.
Yeah.
Actually, there have been experiments. If you go down, there is a queue, and you start putting people in the queue, then the new people that are coming in, they will automatically go into the
Hmm.
queue as well.
Sure.
And there was another study, I think by Stanford or MIT, where people were just there were people of three group on the chairs, and they were doing something, and the fourth one came and sat down, and there was a buzzer. They just rang the buzzer. The three stood up. That person was there just sitting, and then they sat down. The buzzer was put in again after a minute interval. The three stand up. He stand up as well,
Mm.
and then they added in more and more
Mimicking.
people,
Yeah.
and everybody was just following, and
Yeah.
nobody knew why they are standing. And the person that was not standing, they used to just take them out.
Sure. Sure.
So I think challenging the status quo. It's one of the greatest thing that you can ever do. Um, back in the astronomical sense as well, when we had this mindset that Earth revolves around the sun. Um, there was this scientist, astronomical. I don't remember his name, Copernicus or somebody else that kind of like challenge the church that Earth revolves around the sun. So these people are from the time where they saw something, they have been visionary towards something far greater, and they kind of like inspired me. And I think now the founders in today's sense are some of those people that went on and scaled the companies. For instance, we can talk about Airbnb when they started, or we can talk about Uber when it was started. How can you sit with a stranger in a car that can take you from
Mm.
one place
Sure.
to another?
Sure.
And now, just talk about Kuala Lumpur. If I don't bring in my car, I will use the Grab. I don't know the driver. I don't
Correct.
know who is driving it, but I'll go. My family will go, and it's fine. It's normal. But just 20 years, you would not have thought of such a
That's
thing.
true.
That's like a impossible thing to do. So challenging the status quo from that perspective, the prophet and his story was really, really something that during my childhood became kind of an influence for me to, even if everybody is saying something, maybe that's not the right thing. You need to assess the situation, find your own way, or go through the experience. And if that experience says, yes, that is the right thing, then it's fine. But don't have that one thing in your mind that says, what if? Don't die with that what if. Maybe they all are wrong because I didn't try and I
Mm.
just believed.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Very nice story. Now, completely out of the blue, this question. What are your favorite names? As in people's names, first names.
Oh,
Very out of the blue. I'm not sure where it come from.
I really like the name Noha. I actually wanted to name my son Noha.
Mm-hmm.
In our local language, Urdu, it's called Nu, but I wanted to name him Noha, Noah. So that we didn't, but I really like that name. Then there's another name, Zainab. So my daughter's name is Zana. I wanted to name her Zainab. Zana means beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Zainab again is something that really is more settling for me, and was one of the historical figures that was named after. So I mean, I wanted my daughter to be named Zainab, but my wife was like, so I mean, we had this pack before our kids that the first child I'm going to name the second child, and
Yeah, you have to have some rules at some point, indeed.
yeah. So, but Noah is one of the names that I really like. I like the name Michael. And why do I like the name Michael? Michael is basically Mikhail. It's the name of an angel.
Yep.
Again, in Judeo-Christian religions. Again, the stories that have been through my childhood have been phenomenal and kind of like became a hero for me. Um, so these two names, three names, I really like them. But my name is Ghazanfar, so now people call me Ghaz.
Yeah, which
And
I did indeed.
yeah,
But indeed, you have a longer name than this
yeah,
one.
yeah. And it kind of like became my name because when I joined Amazon, I had to, come up with an alias for my email. And we have a limit on the letters.
Ah,
And it became GHAZIQ
yeah.
for my alias. And then my manager during that time asked me, started calling me actually Ghaz, and then it became Ghaz because saying Ghazanfar for some people pronouncing it, and it's a bit longer.
Hmm.
So it became Ghaz over the
Ah,
years.
yes, because the pronunciation is not the g initially, it's
Yeah.
h, or some
Yes.
kind of.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
So
yes,
I,
yes.
I mean, though it's not my name, but it's somehow associated with me, and that's how I am known now, outside Pakistan at least, with this name.
Yeah,
So I like this as well.
yeah, yeah. Understood. Nice story as well. Um, Lots of stories. All right, now, what is it that you most dislike in general?
About people, about
Can be anything. Someone said pineapples in a former interview, and others, of course, were more about people, the kind of people, things like this.
I really dislike when somebody judges my driving. When I'm, driving a car
Yeah.
and somebody start poking in,
Mm-hmm.
like stop here, take a left, take a right, park here, park there. Ah, man, it really irritates me. I think so. I'm a very good driver. I had very few accidents, but I have a lot on my plate in terms of the kilometers that I've traveled.
Mm.
In my couple of previous jobs, I had field jobs, so I used to go from one city to another
Mm.
city. I've traveled a lot, so uh, and if you are not driving, then no accidents are happening. So you have to
Sure.
look at from that way as well.
Of course.
But I really hate it, it really, changes my mood in a very bad way when people start, pointing or guiding me how to drive.
Understand. Now, you hinted on it. What is your greatest regret?
Again, my greatest regret is no regret. There have been few things that I could have done better, uh, not professionally, but personally. Maybe professionally, there's one thing that I did that I shouldn't have done in the hindsight. But again, you learn from your mistakes. But not much that I want to change. Again, if those things didn't happen, they wouldn't have brought me where I am
Sure.
today. And you need to be comfortable in your skin. You need to be comfortable of who you are, and accept for who you are would make doors open for you to understand your weaknesses. So no regrets as such. Yeah, there could be few tweaks here and there that can, on some relationships could have been better. Some professional settings where I could have made some choices have gotten me something more or less. I don't know, but overall, I'm happy.
Nice. Not everyone can reach that kind of peace, in mind. So it's great to hear. Now, how would you like to die?
Oh,
Yeah, it's a deep one, this one. And some people have never thought about it.
oh, I think about it a
Oh,
lot. Ideally, I would like to die in a plane. I
in a
don't know how
plane?
aggressive it is, but yeah, I mean, I'm traveling somewhere officially, so I'm not paying, and they're just and in an instant there is a
I understand.
not crashing, but in the air it just blows up, whatever,
Mm.
and
Is
you
it the concept of not seeing it coming?
yeah
Yeah,
yeah
I share this.
yeah. The other thing is the I mean, I actually think a lot about it. I don't know why, but the other way that I want to die is like I go to sleep and I don't wake up.
You
That's
know,
a,
I've thought exactly about the same thing. And I was wondering why, but I'm feeling maybe we're closing now the halfway, let's say, of our lives.
yeah
And somehow,
yeah
I believe it's kicking in our mind. Also, we start to lose more and more people around us.
yes
So it got us to think, I think. And I had exactly the same thought. I don't want to see it happening. So it's either through sleeping or something not too like harmful is coming, but
yeah
it's just happening.
easy death.
Yeah.
You can say it should be an easy death. You don't make the choice,
Yeah.
but this while going to sleep and dying, this actually was. I was with one of my ex-colleagues from my previous companies, and we were sitting and talking, and he mentioned about one of his friend dying. Like you mentioned, in our age, it becomes kind of like a
Yeah.
norm. So I was like, "How did he die?" And he said that he went to the sleep in the night and didn't wake up. And I was like,
Yeah.
bro, that's the best way to go.
True.
He kind of got a little offended. I'm like, no, no, listen to me. Rather than, dying on crutches or going to the hospital,
Yeah.
getting your test done, and not being healthy or having people looking after you.
True.
And
That's,
sometimes
that
those
is that
people,
as well. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
why you're, ruining another person's life for yourself. So quick, healthy death, I
Yeah.
think, is ideal. Yeah, I have made the scenario, the plane scenario or the sleep scenario, but anything that is like instant, I'm all up for
Sure.
it.
I think for me, that is linked to waiting for it to come.
Hmm.
I don't know how you do it. Lots of people do it though, but I'm not sure I would have the guts to do it. I would be brave enough. So I think the easiest way would be you don't know it. And as you say, this is not a burden to anyone else on top of that,
Yeah.
which is too much happening now that we are living so much longer
Hmm.
and not necessarily so much better.
Hmm.
So indeed there's also this part. I can relate to it. All right, we're coming to the 35th question.
Okay.
What is your motto?
What is my motto? Oh, yes. So my motto is actually an Urdu phrase. It's called "Harkat mein barkat hai," which means there is blessing in constant change.
Mm,
So I have always been on a move, and we are always on a move. If you think about it, change is the only constant.
yeah,
You look around it day and night. We're talking, then we are going somewhere else. We are always moving. So that's the only constant that is happening. And for me, it was more along the lines of, if you look at my professional career, more or less, I haven't worked 3 years plus in any company.
mm,
I
okay.
mean, it's not planned, but something happens. Sometimes I see another opportunity. Sometimes I feel like that I'm not delivering enough, or I have done enough and now I need to step up or move. But whenever that happened and I made that change, the change was always for the good. I've seen people that have been in the same position or in the same company and working there for 10 years, 15 years, in some cases 20 years. You go and you talk to those people. They don't have much to share because they are in a comfort zone. They are
Hmm.
in that setting. I'm not saying it's wrong or
Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah.
but for me, it's not the right place to be. And this is something that I live by, that there should always be a constant change happening, and
Yeah,
you should be prepared for it. More so now, the time we are going through is very uncertain. You don't know what is going to happen in next 6 months. I cannot tell you. Nobody in my
true,
field can actually tell you.
true.
The people that are investing millions or billions of dollars cannot tell you. That's where we are. So it's an uncertain place. So be prepared, be ready, and be open to learning or rechanging or reskilling. Yeah.
That's a nice one. And indeed, it's really looping back to what you have said so far, due to your childhood, probably, I guess. But yeah, in those times, I think it's a great strength to think that way,
Yeah.
to be prepared and to know that change can happen and you can make it through.
Hmm.
Now, some will be harder, but at least you're prepared and you know how to embrace change. All right. So we have come to an end of those Proust questions.
Okay.
How do you feel?
I feel good. Is there an outcome? Is there like a bar or some
No,
numbers that you are,
no,
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 this
no,
is the
no.
personality trait?
No, I don't have that. No, it's more for me a reflective exercise, I think,
Hmm.
for my guests. I don't compare. Sometimes I'm having fun because I see some similarities amongst the people. So I'm wondering if there is some particular trait in the ecosystem, like the talent, for instance. A lot are into singing
Hmm.
or something creative like this. So yeah, there are some similar traits, but that's just the observations of it.
Yeah.
There's no ranking. There's no, and I like that we can speak about things that we usually don't speak about. Those questions, even for ourselves. I don't think we take the time in those modern areas that, yeah, to reflect on ourselves compared to back then. I think that was just like a normal thing to do. That was that time in France in particular. So no rating here. As
Hmm.
long as you are happy to have done it and
Oh
you're feeling
yeah,
great,
absolutely. It
that's my
just
rating.
made me understand myself a bit more, because most of them I wasn't prepared for. I mean, it's not scripted, if anybody is guessing.
Yeah,
So you will have
totally
it
not.
totally uncensored in that sense, and so did I. So a great experience to go through.
Go, good, good. So now we will go into your professional activities.
Hmm.
So as I was mentioning in the beginning, we can't talk about AWS because this is not the official representative here of AWS, but the official Ghaz himself. And so Ghaz is an author, a mentor to a lot of startups. And so we will take that angle for the next questions. And you must have done it quite a lot in your career. I would like you to give me a 1 minute elevator pitch about those activities here.
Yeah, sure. So my background is mostly in sales and business development. I have over 15 years of experience. My career started back in 2006, 2007, actually from a call center back in Pakistan. That's where I'm originally from. And over the years, I transitioned into telco sector, from where I fall into a corporate venture program. Through it, I was selected in Antler, which is a global accelerator, and they funded in my startup, which me and my co-founders scaled back in Pakistan. And it didn't work out for us for some reasons, but then I transitioned into Kareem, which is the biggest ride-hailing unicorn of the Middle East, bought by Uber in 2017 for over $3 billion. And after 3 years, I got an opportunity to join AWS startup team. And my primary role over here is to work with startups that are funded by VCs, accelerators, incubators, to support them build in the cloud, whatever they are doing, and helping them scale. Uh, but over this journey, I have these experiences in place where I went through not only, working from idea to execution, but also to raising the funding. So I've been asked a couple of times to, help startups, mentor them, support them, connect them, which I did voluntarily, which I did because of what I am and what I did, and it became sort of my thing for to give back. And then through this role or this job, this became kind of like official for me, and I really love it. I think I'm good at it. And through that journey, a lot of people pushed me that you have a story to tell. Why don't you think about writing a book?
That is where it comes from. Okay.
And then sometimes down the road, when a lot of people started pushing, I thought about it. And I'm very much active on LinkedIn. Sometimes I write articles, sometimes I write long posts. I sometimes do YouTubing as well. So there is a lot of content out there that I have already had to work with. So I started working with it, and eventually, it took me like 3 years or so to come up with this book,
Mm.
which is a hybrid memoir about my life, my journey. It's called Bites Beyond Borders, and it's available on Amazon.
Yep. The loop is closed then. All right. So now we're going to go into those activities because what I can tell is from that book to your mentoring roles and even the Mr. Startup at AWS, everything is around supporting the entrepreneurs, about sharing your experience in that harsh path that you have been going through before you came the other side, supporting them. So I would like to ask you a few questions my way, which is branding way, because this is who I am here.
Okay.
And so I will ask you, the first question is, why are you on Earth for? So usually I would ask it from the organization point of view, but you, it's more about you as someone that can share about entrepreneurship. Yeah. So why are you on Earth for?
I, at the core, everybody on earth is to give back to earth in your role, your learnings. It's all about sharing, caring. And in my role, obviously, going through all of that journey that I previously shared with you, I think it became mandatory for me to talk and share more about what to do, what not to do, or at least share my experiences on which other people can, work towards in building better companies of the future. And those companies can hire the right people, those companies can solve the right problems. And then I have not only the experiences, but maybe the resources, the connections, and I became that bridge that can connect you in getting not only the wisdom and experience, but also the capital, also the resources, also the technology. And I think that's what I am doing right now in my current role. And that's how I see myself giving back to the community. And this is what I think in the foreseeable future is what I'm going to continue doing and delivering. And that's why I'm here.
Nice. So then, what people do you want to resonate with?
I want to resonate with people that are true to themselves, are not shying away from failures, are open to taking risks, um, never giving up, are of high integrity nature, are hustlers, hard workers, and believe in what they do and then just go out there and do it. Can be messy in the beginning or for a long, long time, but still continue believing, doing, delivering, executing.
Okay. Now, how different do you think you are in that space? You know how we always ask in pitch sessions to entrepreneurs, what is your edge? How different? So that question here, how different are you in that space?
I think I have the experience and exposure of both working in the developed world and in the emerging world. So I know, given my background, where I'm coming from. And to top it all off, I also have the exposure of how the multinational companies, the enterprises work and operate, and how startups work and operate. So I have been an employee in a startup. I have founded a startup as well. I have invested in startups as well, right? And on the other hand, I have been a leader in the corporate sector. I have been an employee in the corporate sector as well. So if you mix it all up and then giving the geographical exposure that I have in place, I think I'm in a position that I can go into the any market and I can deliver whatever that is to be delivered, whatever my goals are as an employee, as a founder, or as an ecosystem player. I feel that I'm in that position now, given my 15 plus years of experience, which is not a thing that you can see every day coming in.
True.
Some people just are tied to the emerging world and they are operating, scaling, and building for that. Some people do that in the developed world. When you mix the two and then you layer it over with terms of the experience and exposure that I bring in, I think that is something that people see. And in my line of work, actually, you need to have that pedigree in place. Otherwise, people will not talk to you. People will not take you seriously.
I see. Yep. Now, what do you promise to those people that you want to resonate with?
What I
Do you promise?
do, I promise to those people.
Yeah.
I don't make any promises that I cannot deliver on, but something that I can deliver on, whatever is in my power and whatever I think about how I can do what I can do for them, I'll be very open about it. So it's an open communication. The other day, there was a startup that pitched to us. So whatever I had in terms of the feedback, I shared that feedback. You can take it or you can leave it or you can learn from it, but that would be something genuine that will be coming from me. You can agree or disagree based on my experiences, but I'm not going to, sugarcoat it, or I'm not going to be very harsh with you. I'm going to be authentic
Yeah.
as much as possible. And that is something that everybody should be looking for when they are out there building, scaling, because they are getting all of these insights and guidelines from all sorts of people, and they can kind of like detrack you from what you are doing. So if you have few people that are very much genuine and authentic, don't leave them. Connect with them. Get as much as possible from their knowledge.
Very good. Very wise recommendation here. All right. So now we are going into more hot news. Do you
Mhm.
have anything happening soon that you would like to share, or any project of yours? We heard maybe another book somehow, someday. Is it something there?
With,
What's your hot
I think
news?
now that we have so much advanced generative AI tools, writing a book, I don't know. I mean, is it attractive enough? Before coming over here, I was seeing a post on LinkedIn that somebody posted about a generated AI music video.
Hmm.
It was a genre of jazz, and it was really, really good. I just shared it in a couple of my network groups as well. I mean, video not so much, but the audio, the music, the composition, I mean, that really was great. But it's all AI generated. Couple of prompts here and there, maybe took you an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. But I'm a failed musician. I used to play guitar.
Oh,
Sometimes I still do. Uh, Back in the day, I had a band. But relating that to what we have, that you can just write a prompt and you have AI music that you can maybe have rights to, and then you can publish it on different streaming
true,
platforms
true.
and start earning from it. And there are actually YouTube videos, generated AI YouTube videos, having millions of views. So who are we? What are we doing? So it's a lot that is changing on from that perspective.
So
That I'm
not really sure you're gonna write another book maybe because of that. Like,
I would love to write another book, definitely, but more so, I would want my book. I may be ambitious over here to have a movie or a documentary about.
oh,
That is
okay,
already so. If you read my book, it's not your usual business book. And when we started working on it with a publishing house, the idea was like, okay, let's write a professional book that talks about all things enterprise and startups, the design thinking, idea generation, and how to pivot, what to do, how to scale, all of that. But then I realized that there are so many books on these subjects that are out there,
true.
and there are people that have done so much better than me, and they have written those books. So who am I? I can put my flavor onto it, but I cannot uh, differentiate it until unless I, connect it with my own story.
Hmm.
I open myself in such a way where people can actually believe on what I'm saying is true.
Yeah, relate
So
to you. Yeah,
yeah. So now it has 12 chapters, and each chapter opens up towards my personal story. And then through that, what were the learnings, the professional outcomes that I have or I had, and I share that with the audience out there. So it's targeted more towards students and young professionals and aspiring founders, but anybody can read it because it's at the end, it's a story.
yeah,
So that's the differentiator. So now that's out there, I think, and it doesn't need to be like a something that I need to sign up Netflix with. Like I mentioned, there are AI generated tools,
sure,
so
sure. So
you
that
never
could be
know.
the next step of this book, yeah,
Yeah,
or the next book.
yeah,
All
absolutely.
right.
Let's see.
Perfect. Anything else you would like to share?
Uh, is this like a closing?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. We
we're
are there.
touching the end of this interview.
Uh, Something that I do mention to a lot of people during my talks in different capacity is that always believe in yourself. And it's a cliche to say such a thing. Everybody says that, but what does it mean? It means that be open to yourself and don't be hard on yourself. You will go through a lot, and if you are not, go out there and go through it. Because Jensen Huang, who's the CEO of NVIDIA, he recently mentioned about going through the suffering. If you are not going through the suffering, I feel sorry for you, and that kind of like hit me a lot. That I went through a lot of the suffering to be where I am, and it's important for your character development. And when you are going through it, don't be hard on yourself that this didn't work out, that didn't work out. It is the nature of the things. Some things are going to be really good in your life, some things are going to be really bad in your life. There will be ups and there will be downs.
Mm.
Accept them and continue moving forward. Don't make same mistakes over and over again, but be open to making mistakes and being open to challenge yourself and be open to understanding yourself, what you are doing and why you are doing. Have some time where you can consciously make effort to understand yourself. If you can love yourself after all of that, then you can love everybody else as well. And that is more important than anything else. And we talk a lot about, billion-dollar companies and successes and founder stories, but we never talk about what they go through. And it's not just the founders, I think it's everybody. And now the kind of world that we are living in and the challenges that we are facing, it is more important than ever to have that close knit system where each of us can help each other out. So I think at the core, don't be hard on yourself and continue to doing what you are doing. Follow your passion, follow your dreams. Um, Things are going to not be as planned as they are supposed to most of the times, but once you see it all out there, everything will kind of like connect. Your whole story will connect, and you will realize you are where you are because of all of that messiness. So if you are at some situation where you are not really feeling it, or you are at your low, you can believe me, because I've been through that eventually you will be at some place better.
Yeah, and there's in entrepreneurship, there's something I've learned through Nexia and the roles I have with them that is called the lifeline. Have you heard of that?
No.
So it's a real interesting exercise that is confirming what you're saying. You put in a visual way your life, the key moments that have shaped who you are and where you are now. And you will see cycles, because life is cycles.
Yeah.
And somehow you will see that after a low comes always something much better. You know it, I think, deeply down, but the fact to visualize it is somehow making you become hopeful, if in case you are at that low space, that you can see that indeed it's just about life cycles. Cycles can be long
Hmm.
sometimes,
Hmm.
but at some point there's something better coming in. So go through it, learn the lessons, and try to make the most out of it. It's hard because it's suffering, but once you're out of that, somehow something much better and beautiful is coming.
Yeah, and it's
Lifeline.
very much needed for your own
Yes.
development and growth.
Yes. Correct. Correct. Very wise. Thank you. Where can we find you online?
Most best way to reach me is through LinkedIn.
Mhm.
Like I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty much active. There are a lot of people that I try to reply to, or at least you can connect with me over LinkedIn and see what I do, what I post about, what is my role. I just don't talk about my professional settings and what's happening in there, but I do give a personal flavor to it so
Yeah.
people can understand me more. I'm not just another LinkedIn bot, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I can easily be reached out on LinkedIn, but I'm across all the social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Threads, and I'm also on Twitter, and yeah, also on YouTube. Whenever I get the time, I'm just do something. And why am I on YouTube, you may ask? Because I have my documented life over there. I mean, you can go and see 10 years ago, this is something that
Oh,
I was
okay.
doing somewhere. And sometimes when I'm down or sad, or I'm not really feeling it, I just go through those moments in my life. They are available on the YouTube that
Mm,
I was there, man. I
like
was doing that.
journaling a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and today
yeah.
I'm here, that kind of like gives sense to me. But yeah, I'm pretty much out there on almost all of the social media
Okay.
platforms.
So we'll put the links on the YouTube page, but
Thank you
also
so much.
Gaz is offline a lot in every kind of startup events
I try to
somehow.
be. I try to
Yeah,
be.
I don't know how you do it because it's a lot just in KL. But Gaz is very often at those meetings
Yes.
of any kind. Of course, the AWS, but not just them.
Yeah.
So you might connect in real life as well with Gaz quite easily, actually. And he's very tall guy, so usually in an assistant, you can see him quite easily. Yeah.
Yeah, those networking events, I just love them, and they are nonstop. Actually, on this Thursday, there are 4 events,
Oh, are you
and
going to the four of them?
I'm trying to go to at least three. Let's
Wow.
see.
Wow, that's a marathon of a
Yeah.
night. Wow.
So, I mean, I kind of like prioritize how I'm planning and meeting people. I'm very wary of my time, but I think over the years I have learned what is important, what is not important. But yeah, if I'm not out there, then you will not be able to reach out to me, though there are different
True.
platforms. But having that in-person interaction and connection, I think even today, that is more important than having a virtual call or
Totally
a
agree.
virtual setting in any sort of networking activity.
Totally agree. All right. Thank you so much, Gaz. I
Thank
was
you.
really, really happy to meet you because you might not remember, but 2 years ago, I was part of La French Tech Malaysia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we were supposed to have a lunch together with the president as well of my organization and a few people from AWS to see what we could do together. And it has been canceled and never rescheduled. So 2 years ago, so finally I could meet you because, of course, your name is still around. And I'm really glad to have encountered you in such circumstance, very unique here, and to have discovered the person before even any organization you might represent. That's, I think, priceless.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for your
much.
time. I know it's a busy time for you, so really appreciate it. Thank
No,
you.
no, thank you for having me. I mean, I had a great, wonderful conversation.
Thank
Your
you.
podcast is nothing like conventional podcasts that are out there,
Indeed,
which is
indeed.
really great. And you just go right to it from your very first question and off it goes. I hope the viewers like it and do subscribe and do share your comments. How did you find me? And maybe I can improve on what I'm sharing or be more descriptive towards that. But I mean, happy to be here again sometime down the road once you have more subscribers, more engagements in place. And all the best for your podcast and your journey.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So